Tom, you're a former Mr. Universe, and I mean, just looking at you there, you've got muscles in your cheeks, haven't you? You've got probably the best developed cheeks I've ever seen.
I'm sort of known for that. That's one of my trademarks.
Yeah.
Alright everyone, brace yourselves, because today we are going to talk about one of Tom Platz's most developed body parts. And we're not just talking about his tree trunk legs, shredded hamstrings, or quads that were feathered to the max. No. Today we're going to be talking about something even more legendary. Tom Platz's jawline. That's right, Tom Platz, the Golden Eagle. He wasn't just the man with the greatest legs in bodybuilding history. He was also, perhaps, even unintentionally, the jawline alpha. I mean, look at it. It's just out there.
Oh my god. It is so big. I believe it's just so round. It's like out there.
In all seriousness though, you could chisel Mount Rushmore 2.0 onto it. If Zeus himself carved a jawline from granite, it would look like Tom Platz's. And when he flexed his cheek, he had a peak on his cheeks. Cheeks with peaks. Forget Superman, DC, or any Marvel character. Tom Platz was the real jaw superhero. And what makes it all so glorious is, he didn't even try. The man was too busy squatting 5 plates for 20 reps to worry about jaw exercises. So let's be clear, I am not mocking the guy. Instead, this is an homage to the man with the greatest Riz jaw we have ever seen in bodybuilding. This is a celebration and tribute to one of the most masculine faces ever seen, and who we'll now call Tom Platz the jawline alpha, the Riz jaw king. And while everyone talks about his thunder thighs, let's take a moment to admire how he developed his jawline. I mean, it was there from the very beginning. We can see from these photos and early footage that Tom Platz had a nice defined jaw. So he had great genetics to begin with. But the muscles on his jaw were not as developed. But as he began to lift, especially when he began to squat, those cheek muscles began to grow. Now, the muscle responsible for Tom Platz's amazing jawline, especially that freaky, cheeky peak, is called the masseter, and is a powerful quadrangular muscle responsible for closing the jaw and chewing. It's located on the side of the face between the cheekbone and the mandible, or otherwise called the lower jaw bone. Now, how did Tom Platz grow his masseter to develop this most impressive of jawlines? In particular, it was the squat and heavy lifting, no doubt, that contributed to his incredible jaw muscle development. Several studies have demonstrated that high intensity resistance training increases jaw clenching, contributing to masseter strength and growth. And when we see the insane intensity that Platz trained with, there is no doubt that his intensity factored in and led to severe jaw clenching that led to masseter growth. I mean, look at Tom. Have you ever screamed your soul out while repping out sets until you nearly pass out like Tom did?
Human. Squeeze it! Come on, squeeze! Alright, resist. More! Kill me! More! Okay, come on, up. Squeeze it. Come on, up! Squeeze! Harder! Yeah! Resist!
Look at his face. It's red as a tomato. And look at his cheek muscles flex with every rep. That's jaw engagement, baby. That's masseter hypertrophy in action. Now, let's not forget one very important factor that most definitely contributed to Tom's masculine jawline. By the time he was squatting heavy, Tom had already developed a phenomenal jawline. but Tom has admitted to taking steroids. And studies have shown that steroid administration in combination with chewing leads to some major masseteric or cheek muscle hypertrophy. And is that any surprise? I'm not claiming that Tom was chewing all day long, but when he combined squats and heavy lifting with an already phenomenal jawline, genetics, right? And masseter genetics too, and added steroids, well, the result was the birth of the most incredible Riz jaw in bodybuilding history. The Jawline Alpha was born. Finally, if we look at the evolution of Tom's jawline, there is one other factor that helped him display his jawline and cheek muscle, and that of course is body fat manipulation. If we look at the evolution of Tom Platz's jawline, we also realize that off season his jawline, although massive, it wasn't as defined. However, when we compare these off-season photos with his peak competition condition, it's night and day. That masseter is peaky and shredded. Who'd ever think we'd be geeking out at the striations on Tom Platz's jawline, right? Seriously. But such was the phenomenal jaw of Tom Platz that I just had to do a video on it. And I do hope that you have enjoyed this video on Tom Platz, the Golden Eagle, which he still remains, but now who we have officially crowned the Jawline Alpha, the Riz Jaw Sigma, the Riz Jaw King. Long may that chiseled grin reign. If you have enjoyed the video, then please give the video a like, subscribe, leave me your comments. What do you think of Tom Platz's jawline? Who do you think had the best jawline in bodybuilding history? Let me know in the comments. That's it from me. This is the Golden Era Bookworm saying bye for now. Head to www.goldenerabookworm.com for the biggest range of classic old school bodybuilding books as ebooks, e-magazines such as Iron Man and Reg Park Journal, high quality bodybuilding posters of the Golden Era stars, merchandise and classic gymwear featuring Steve Reeves, Marvin Eder, John Grimmick, Reg Park, and many other Golden Era stars. For those wishing to build a classic physique, lose fat and build muscle, online training is also available. Collectibles such as rare autographed photos from the Golden Era stars are also available, and to collaborate, please get in touch. Now, if you're interested in learning more about Vince Gironda's approach to bodybuilding, his principles, and all these tips of wisdom that he has, I mean, there's so much stuff that probably hasn't been proven by science, and it will take science to prove or disprove Vince. But to be honest, these 3 books, I believe, which I call the Classic Physique Bundle, are the best books that Vince ever came out with. And they, of course, are the Wild Physique, the Master Series, and the Pro Series. Have a look at it this way. The Wild Physique, I believe, is like the ABCs of Vince Gironda's principles to bodybuilding. He teaches you the exercises and his principles, but how do you put them together? Well, the Master Series is a 14-month program of using all of these principles, all of the diets that Vince came out with, all of the exercises, and of course the Pro Series was a book that he came out with later on, specially targeted for getting into competition. It's just these 3 books, as I call it, the Classic Physique Bundle, are Vince's best work, and available, of course, at www.goldenerabookworm.com.